A lot of my anxiety has been born from me not trusting the process, not trusting myself ultimately. The light is there, it just needs to be turned up. If we think that, oh, if I can just make this much per year or pay off this loan, then I'll be the light and I can shine it. I have actual proof for myself of how even when it looks like your life is totally ruined, collapsed, a disaster, beyond repair, that even when that is what it looks like to you, that somehow there's work being done, behind the scenes, somehow things are coming together in a way that you could never really imagine. I feel like most people have an example in their life, at least one, of where they look at it and think, oh, at the time, that seemed terrible, but it actually worked out because then I could never have this. Even though to myself, I'm like, yeah, the universe, man, it's totally real, it's totally working for you, and oh, you gotta just trust in the universe, man, it's all coming together, man. But mindset isn't feeling it. Trust is a feeling, ultimately. Trust is a feeling that feels like your heart is safe. That's a tall order. Right? In the world, that's a tall order to feel like your heart is safe. So if I'm saying that I fully have trust in the universe, then I'm saying that I trust that everything that's happening on a micro and macro level in my life is happening for my own best good. It's happening for something to be born from it. It's happening for all the right reasons, even when it feels crazy wrong. This is what I mean by trust. Do I feel that? Or have I felt that? No, of course not. Don't be absurd. No, of course I haven't. That's a tall order, to trust that literally everything that's in your life is somehow meant to be and is somehow creating for you something for your best good. This is where I've realized most of the source of my anxiety comes in. To put that into action every day and say that you truly believe that is a sense of freedom. And it's a sense of freedom that most of us don't live by. It's a sense of freedom that most of us can't even really imagine. Because if you really wake up in the morning and you know that no matter what is happening, no matter what is presenting itself in your life at that moment, that it's all totally meant to be and it's all okay. It's all gonna work out. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to panic about. There's nothing for you to control or force to happen. Every single thing that happens is totally meant to be. If you're creating your life and living your life from that space, that is truly a freedom that would allow you to not only have a peaceful heart and a peaceful mind in your everyday, but it would allow you to really savor and really do what you want with your own life. All of that fear, when it's lifted off, it's you can kind of relax into things and be so I can just live. Even when going through a hardship, even when life is presenting me things that seem insane. Ultimately, I believe in autonomy. I don't think you should believe what I believe. I think you should believe what you believe. I think that we all need to investigate what we truly feel and what we truly believe is right for us. Go on our own path, our own journey. Part of my belief is that my soul ultimately chose every thing that's going to happen in my life. Not my life is just predestined and I just live it out, but major things that occur. Not even major, minor, all of it, that somehow my soul picked it out specifically so that I could learn specific things in this lifetime. That's what I personally believe. And I feel that connection a lot. There's so many things that I'm just oh, if I hadn't have gone through this, I would have no way of knowing this. And that personal belief that I have, if I really lived by it and really let that dictate my choices, then it would really feel I couldn't do no wrong. A sense of freedom of what if we all had that? There's so many things that have been put into place to lead us astray from who we really are. I just know for a fact we're all these powerful, insanely creative beings. I don't believe that certain people are creative and certain people aren't. I think we're all so massively creative. I think we were essentially put here to just create, and that we all have our own unique voice, our own unique way of doing things, our own unique way of creating, and that's part of life, is to be here and be present in that. And that's what truly gives us joy. Not buying things, not having stuff, not presenting as something, but but just being truly ourselves and like being 100% present. If we could tap into that freedom of really trusting the universe and trusting it wholeheartedly, what could we create from that space? What could we experience life as through that space? I think this is personally what we're moving towards. A space where like we really understand the disease that consumerism and capitalism really is, and all the things that it brings upon us, and how we've all been brainwashed to think we want a life that has no real connection with who we are or why we're here. I've always been interested in where do we come from, because it kind of gives us a lack of purpose. It gives us a lack of purpose if we don't have a sense of, I'm here for something greater. I'm here to find my purpose, or to, insert XYZ, whatever you feel that you're here for. These business owners, these millionaires and billionaires say, oh, I'll tell you what your reason for being is. You're here to buy things. Here, let me sell you something. You're here to buy things. You're here to spend money. You're just a dollar sign. You are the amount of money that you can produce every year. You are the amount of money you can spend every year. This is all you are. Is money, this esoteric idea of value. You're nothing more than that. So no wonder we all feel like life is pointless, because that's a pointless existence. It is. Once we start to slowly unpack really the trauma that is capitalism and consumerism and what it has done to each and every one of our lives, a massive veil is going to be lifted from people's eyes. I think it's going to be clearer than ever to see your true purpose, to see your true soul, to be more in touch with who you are as a being, and your light and your specialness, your uniqueness, your gifts, because everyone's gifted. That's another thing, is people have been made to think that they do not have gifts, or the gifts they possess are not of value, because a monetary value can't be assigned to it. How false. How sick. How sick. It's just not real. That's not real. We're absolutely here for a reason. I can't tell you what your reason is as much as you can't tell me mine. But I do believe that we all are just a touchstone of that thing that we know is so much bigger than this life, so much bigger than what we can see and what we've experienced. This veil is getting lifted, and the more that it does, I think the more that we're not only going to trust the universe and trust the processes that exist in our life, the cycles that exist in our life, but we're going to trust our own selves and our own tuition and our own truth. We'll all be able to follow our North Star more perfectly. Girl, I thought my camera shut off and I was about to go off, because I was like, girl, I just spoke a word. I hate to be that one who's blaming most things on consumerism and capitalism and the patriarchy while we're at it. But that's really what's happened, is our lives have been stolen from us. And people who only want us to be a dollar amount, people who only want us to exist in that way because it serves them and it keeps us oppressed. That's what's been dimming all of our lights. The light is there, it just needs to be turned up. That's turned up on all of us. I don't think that there is a person alive today under these constructs that truly feels they're living the full expression of who they are and really shining their light. And that's a problem, because we're never going to be able to innovate and to ascend as a people, to be able to solve modern problems, to work together, to cooperate. We're never going to be able to do any of that if we can't see our own light. If we constantly think that the next thing we can be sold is the light. If we think that, if I can just make this much per year or pay off this loan, then I'll be the light and I can shine it. Because everything is just being sold to you. Whatever it is, that's that thing that's in front of you shining your light. The reason why you can't shine your light or live your life to the fullest, that's all a lie. You can do it anytime you like. It takes a lot of healing. It takes a lot of patience. That's what we're gonna have to have. And it's not that big of a deal, because we have time. Urgency. Why do you think that the phrase time is money? That ain't in the gospel, honey. That's something that people made up so that you're constantly in a panic, am I making the most out of my time? Because I run out of it, it's finite. Newsflash, time is not real. It doesn't really exist, it's a construct. I mean, I'm not saying this, I hope I'm not coming off as if this is something that I don't live under. I say it all the time. I'm still conditioned. I'm still in the matrix. I wish I could completely disregard time. Under these current constructs, I can't. I try my best. God knows I do, but I don't. I'm not successful 100% of the time. But time is money is a phrase that's sold to all of us, so we all think that we should be doing more all the time. there's no time to just be. Even like time to just be and exist has been co-opted into, what would we call it? The meditation racket? Meditation in and of itself isn't a bad thing, but it's now assigned to an entire like industry of like something that you need to do and you need to have an app for. Like, do you see how it all works? Even something as pure as meditation, which is essentially just being, just existing, turning off your mind, turning on your soul, your heart space, turning those on and turning the noise off. And we've made it into yet another business. Cute. Girl, yeah.